And welcome to all the man woman of the West. I'm Joe. Now, I did go 1 week without an episode for this series, which was entirely due to being overwhelmed with schoolwork, job interviews, and with working on the various channels, so that I kind of felt overwhelmed. And I will admit and confess, I did forget due to all of this. But I'm back. I'm busier this week, but I've managed to carve out a few minutes for this video. So, yeah, sorry about that, guys and girls. And speaking of girls, GirlNextGondor is today's channel I really want to push forward to. She's one of the best channels. Honestly, her and Redbook, along with JRT Lore Geek, are probably the best readers. I've rarely, if ever, met someone who reads text so well and is able to discern so much from the barest of sentences and phrases. As you can see, I adore her channel. I've not rewatched On Morgoth yet, or at least not finished this video. I've listened to it twice, and I intend to listen to it many more times. You've got her Tolkien Reloaded. I highly recommend. She is way better at the computer side of things than I am. And her channel boasts some of the best visuals I've seen on any Tolkien channel, like amongst all the Tolkien tubers. And like, you have Robert, who may do the grandest live streams. You've got Yoyston, who's basically an audio wikia for Lord of the Rings. But Lexi brings a very special, very unique point of view that's both mature and wise, as well as very, very serious to this lore. Now, she does have a good sense of humor, but the seriousness she takes to lore is heartening. She evidently loves it, and she tells it in all the stories in her analysis in such great detail. And she doesn't make light of Tolkien, except when, well, it's called for, which it often is, but not in a mean-spirited, mocking way. Honestly, I just have such good things to say about her channel. I love it so much. In particular, I would really recommend recently her Feanorians. I also like her Boromir video, but I really like her Feanorians and her talk about Morgoth. They're some of her best stuff. I disagree with her on Turin, but I actually really like listening to her point of view on him. And I do agree with her on this side that he was an incredibly flawed, often foolish man in the literature. But where we differ is that I really do like Turin, but it's more out of pity for the character, for the poor fool that he is. Whereas Lexi tends to facepalm a lot more than I do, I imagine. But 1 second, I'll just try to decide upon a quest. Let me see. I can't imagine any of my quests being anywhere near as grand as that of the Children of Húrin. Let me just turn these off. Okay. So alright, here we are. I need to fight goblins. Okay. Well, anyways, Lexi tends to analyze the lore from as many angles as possible, whilst retaining her point of view, which is a very intelligent, savvy one, bringing with her a great deal of understanding of a lot of different fields, such as metaphysics, such as linguistics, such as, well, science. When I say that, I mean just in general. And also philosophy and different schools of academic thought. I kind of feel safe saying that not since Christopher Tolkien has there been someone who analyzes the literature as in depth as, say, Red Book or Lexi. And when I say that, I know Tolkien did a lot of thorough study of his own literature, but he died, and Christopher kind of carried on doing a lot of that. And that's where I don't think there is anyone alive who does as great a job as those two, or JRT Lore Geek. And I'm not trying to just hype them up, but like, you listen to them. I try my darndest to sound half as smart as her, and I don't think I quite succeed. Mostly what I try to bring is my understanding of the hero's journey, archetypes, and I take a mighty good swing at metaphysics, but I can never quite make it as high up on the mountain as her, which is a darn shame. I also bring my understanding of history, but she brings all of that and more. So, you know, like, oh man. And honestly, she was the first Tolkien channel I can actually say I did befriend. Like, I had spent years watching the various channels, but I didn't... Oh, excuse me. But I didn't actually interact with any of them. And that has to do with my terrible timidity, which I'm currently trying to beat down with my own variant of Grond, the Great Warhammer of Morgoth. But Lexi offered a lot of good advice on how to build up the channel. She was warm and welcoming, and at the time she only had, I think, a little over 1,000 subs. Now she's grown to 6,000, which, oh man, that's such great news. She did such a great job doing that. It's entirely due to her hard work and dedication. Man, she has always been keen to put herself forward to help the smaller channels, and even the larger ones, when they see the need to. And I'm not just saying that. It's that she was the first to give advice and always, you know, be very kind, and occasionally message Dan and I when we had not messaged her in a while. A bit like, if I had to compare her to anything, I'd say she's kind of almost like the Tolkien tuber's mom or big sister. And honestly, well, she carries the same wit and warmth as I often get from my own sister, so that is something that I don't say lightly. And at the same time, she's quick to disabuse us of certain notions when we're wrong about things, and quick to correct, though not in a she does do the I told you so thing, I think, occasionally, but not without a certain amount of respect and genuine human kindness. And I know I keep repeating that, but I really do mean it. And then you've got, well, she was also the first to recommend that we talk to Yoyston, because we were kind of, over at the Fantasy Corner, big fans of Yoyston before we were fans of any of the other Tolkien tubers, and then we started looking at all of them, wanting to see more and more and more as we got into more and more fantasy. And it was Lexi who just said, just go talk to him. He's not that cold. He's a great guy. You could just talk to him one day to the next, and he'll be more than happy to say hi to you right back and discuss the literature of Tolkien with you. And guess what? That was the case. So, yeah, there's... Oop, I seem to have gotten lost. And found the only corner where there are no goblins. I like me. I always get lost. Whether in real life or otherwise. Oh, for heaven's sake. Can't catch a break. Alright, so I'm gonna go out here. I gotta figure out... Okay. I think the path is over there. I thought I was on that path, but I guess I'm not. But so yeah, I ended up then contacting Yoyston and befriending him, and he was nothing but kindness itself. And the thing is, afterwards, of course, we got a I Told You So from GirlNextGondor, which was rather funny. And she gave some more advice and told us to rip out all the non-fantasy videos out of our channel because it was a bit of a hodgepodge mess. And it still kind of is. And we then realized how the algorithm worked. She explained it very simply to us, and it is relatively simple. And we ended up fixing up our channel. So now it's gotten to 500 subs. So it's mostly her fault. Her and Dragonlance Saga. I love that joke. But yeah, we ended up ripping out a great chunk of the channel until it became semi-functional. We're still on our way to 1,000 subs, and once we do, it'd be great if we could at some point live stream with her. She's one of the people I want to live stream with the most. Just because, well, like I said, she brings such intelligence. Although, I imagine I'd probably be schooled pretty soundly. Even on characters I think I know well, such as Turin, Theoden, even Bilbo, or even events such as some of those in the First Age. I think she'd school me pretty soundly, and it'd be pretty funny to see on YouTube. But on the other hand, it would be fun to be a little schooled. I mean, every couple of weeks I get schooled by Redbook. Because honestly, yeah, there's always someone better than you, and there's always someone who knows more than you. And it is such a pleasure to kind of be that guy who's one of those who's always learning something new with every read through of Tolkien's literature, or any time I interact with any of the Tolkien tubers, so that it's it makes every discussion with them fairly new. And I don't know, I really like that. Because, you know, that's kind of what you want. And I will confess, I didn't read Tolkien's Lord of the Rings till I was 26. I had read The Hobbit over and over again, but I didn't read Lord of the Rings until then, and then I read Silmarillion just a while ago, although then I read it about 4 times back to back. And Lord of the Rings I've read by now 3-4 times. Man, that's such a great book. Anyways, yeah, so I'm a bit of the newcomer in the midst, a bit of the noob. And there's no shame in it. It's just, like I said, Lexi's one of those whom always impresses with her wit and with her knowledge. So, and anyone who goes on Twitter and follows her, or goes to talk to her in her comments section or her community section, will quickly learn that GirlNextGondor does know far more about Tolkien's literature than most. And I gotta find one of those darn goblins. Alright, there's one. so that you're in for quite the treat. And what's more is her knack for bringing a bit of the an element of Joseph Campbell or Carl Jung or Tolkien level analysis to the text is something that's rarely ever seen. Not many actually like to think about literature quite that much. And, well, I'm obsessed with mythology and fantasy, so it's something I really do look up to. And it pushes the rest of us who love to read that much and who love to try to analyze literature like folks like them do, and who would love to just dedicate the rest of our lives to literature or reading, think about it even more and even give us something to aspire to. And Lexi over at GirlNextGondor is one of those people we all kind of aspire to be like, in a way. Having a great deal of human warmth, like Robert and Yoyston. Actually, almost all the Tolkien tubers are just some of the nicest people on earth I've ever met. But also some of the smartest. And Lexi is in the top 5, probably, in terms of being top 5 smartest. Don't ask me what the ranking is. I don't know. But she's definitely one of them that, yeah, go talk to her. Or even listen, better yet, listen to some of her videos and then talk to her. You'll find she's, as my Mimel would put it, a smart cookie. Which, well, normally you only get cookies from the dark side, as my oldest brother tends to say. And, well, yeah. Anyways, that kind of joke, I guess, ran away with me. Alright, where's that goblin? Alright, we have a goblin. Get over here. Oh, shoot. That's not good. "10 out of 10. Okay. So where? Okay, he's over there. Good, he didn't break a leg. And, frankly, if she ever watches this video and makes it this far, hi, GirlNextGondor. I bet I probably made fun of Turin more than you ever did in my 12 Great Men of Arda podcast. So, ha! I couldn't resist that. Then again, I probably mocked Morgoth a bit more. Except for Cat Morgoth. Honestly, I don't think anyone could mock Morgoth when he was a cat more than her. I think that he was the one who was a cat. Either him or... No, I think Sauron was the one who was a cat. Darn it, I'm getting everything mixed up. And I'm showing how much of a dunce I am. Yeah, I'm pretty sure Melkor was a cat once. And... or at least a trickster. I know he was at one point a gentle trickster. Well, gentle. And then eventually evolved into the megalomaniacal loon we see in the Silmarillion. That I love reading so much. Let's see this. Whatever. Yeah, I'm not going for that again. I thought there was another one. thought I had... No, I guess not. Tabards. Great. It's either goblin heads, scabbards, or tabards now. Alright, so... enough prattling on about Morgoth, Sauron, and even mocking Turin, Turambar, and praising GirlNextGondor like I have Indie Geek and I think Dragonlance Saga before that, and Timbo, of course. Generous Timbo. Man, nobody cracks as many good or wholesome jokes as Timbo. But anyways, I think that's it for this video. So don't forget to smash that like and that subscribe button, and to also go do it over here at GirlNextGondor's channel. Seriously, you won't regret it. It's one of the best viewing and listening experiences, especially when you're doing something else and you just want to listen to something intelligent that's, well, never lets you down. So until next time, take care.